Ladies and gentlemen, Neil Degrasse Tyson chimes in on what's going on. Very surprising. I'm Tall, your favorite white colonizer, coming to you live from Israel. Let's take a look at this clip.
Understanding of that universe. And that absence of Muslim presence in the frontier of science persists to this day. Take a look at the Nobel Prize from 1900 to 2010. I can do this. Do this for the Jews, for example. How many Jews in the world? There's like 15 million tops. 15 million out of 7 billion people. These are the numbers of Jews who have won the Nobel Prize in the sciences. 25% of the Nobel Prizes. We have a Jewish person in the audience. Congratulations. Okay, fine. Okay. This is rightly something to be extraordinarily proud of. The traditions of Jews in the 20th century is one of education and scholarship. In earlier centuries, it was one of very strict sort of study of the Torah. Did not involve the natural world. This was a later emergence of the Jewish culture to exhibit this. Let's look at the numbers for Islam. So these are Jews. There are 15 million Jews, 25% of the Nobel Prizes. There is 1.3 billion Muslims in the world.
1.8 now, 1.9.
These are the numbers. 2.5. Okay, I'll give you 3 if you really want to include economics as a full number there. Okay? If you got to give it a full number, okay. Now, for me, by the way, you can analyze this in any number of ways. There are 50 times the number of Nobel Prizes, 1/80th the population. There's 4,000 times the impact. I lose sleep at night with the question, how many secrets of the universe lay undiscovered, because 1.3 billion people who in an ancestral time would have participated in this enterprise and are now not. That's what I think of as a scientist. Whole populations. By the way, there are other populations that never contributed. I'm not going to them and blaming them. I'm talking about a population that already did contribute. It's in the cultural heritage already.
No, it's
All
not.
we're asking is to resurrect it. It has not happened.
So this is a fundamental misunderstanding of the Muslim world, and I'm so happy that this clip was sent to me to react to, because I need to explain something. This is a false equivalency. You cannot compare Jews to Muslims, because the idea of Muslims as a group is a facade. And let's start by looking at the Jews real quick. The Jews are not a religion. The Jews are an ethno-religious group that makes up sort of a family. That's why it's so small. It's 15 million people. But this group of people come from a wide background of ethnicities that lived in the diaspora, but what brings them together are core share values and one piece of land, one specific land that all of their cultural practices sort of revolve around. The Muslim world, on the other hand, is now 1.8, 1.9 billion people that were colonized by Arabs through Arabism, through Islamism, violently, which had their cultures, their histories erased. When he's talking about the quote-unquote golden age of Islam, that is when mostly, not always, but mostly Arabs or people who are propped up by Arab supremacists to the top or higher echelons of Arab society were functioning like a supremacist society. You had a bunch of people at the top who bought in directly to the Arab society, the Arab supremacist society, and you had a bunch of people at the bottom who were either in the middle of converting or they were dhimmis, whatever it were. But it was a very micro at that level. It was very small, it was manageable, because these things do not scale up properly. I've been saying this a million times over. No matter how much of a devout Christian you are or a devout Muslim you are, these religions were never meant to scale up. I mean, they were by their leaders who implemented them, because the whole idea is control and politics and power and money and greed. That's the whole concept at the end of the day. And this isn't me demonizing Christianity or Islam. But at the end of the day, as political movements, the connection with God is foregone for the desire to have political powers over you. That's the whole concept. That's the whole idea of why these religions, these massive organized religions exist. And yes, Judaism even exhibits some ugly sides of that as well in modern day Judaism. But the connection with God, the connection with the world around you is kind of lost in pursuit of power and control. So you can't even make an equivalency to the Muslims. You should make an equivalency like the Jews to the Azeris, or the Jews to the Persians, or the Jews to the Arabs, which there are only really a small sect of Arabs in this world. Jews to the Babylonians. How many Nobel Peace Prizes have been brought up by people of Babylonian descent? Muslims is a false equivalency, because the Muslims of days past that actually used to contribute to science, there's not even a shred of that really left in the world today. It's been muddled by this fake idea of an all-great, all-powerful ummah of united 2 billion Muslims who come from a bunch of Arabized or colonized countries. It's a facade and it's fake. It's not real. So I hope that gives a little bit of nuance. If you don't trust what I'm saying, keep watching this channel or watch some of my older videos, because I go into more depth and detail, and I'll probably do it again and again in the future. Please do support the channel by buying some merchandise, and I'll see you in the next one. I love you a long time. Goodbye, clats. If you believe in my content and want to support me, just know your help is needed. There's a bunch of great ways to support me, being PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, or joining my Patreon community down below. Patreon is the best way to support my channel, and you'll get a bunch of cool perks depending on what tier you join. Another great way to support me is by buying my merchandise on thetravelingclat.com. I regularly drop new merch designs like this beautiful hat or this amazing shirt, where you can support the channel and get something cool for yourself. I also have an amazing Discord community with people from all over the world. Thank you so much for your support.